So we had to go for a second opinion because they saw some things on the ultrasound that weren't right. When we went to him, he basically said, I think it's congenital diaphragmatic hernia, but I'm not sure, so we're gonna have you come back and have another ultrasound.
So the first one I go to is the one where he found out that she had CDH. So at first, her regular OB-GYN just told us not too much. He didn't know. He was, I don't want to say confused, but he just didn't have any answers for us.
They just said that he had an abnormality and explained further that he had CDH, and so they couldn't point us in any direction for care. They told us to terminate. They, were not a big help.
So CDH, or congenital diaphragmatic hernia, is a devastating birth defect that robs children and parents of their lives and the joys of giving birth and growing up. It's a spectrum of disease, but about half of these kids are doing very poorly nationally or dying, and the families carry the burden. It's also sad that many of these babies are terminated after diagnosis by people who are very well-meaning but have been told by doctors their babies don't have a good chance, and that's really not true. So the devastation from diaphragmatic hernia is very real, and these families carry the loss of their child through their whole lives. I talked to parents that lost their child 10 and 20 years ago, and they're still devastated. So this is not something that just goes away. It's something that stays with people their whole lives.
On the other end of that spectrum, when we are extubating a child, which means taking the breathing tube out, and they're starting to breathe on their own for the first time, or the first time they get to eat by mouth, because these babies don't eat by mouth for many, many weeks. They have other tubes in their mouth that prevent that. Those are win-win days for the families and for the staff. And so those are triumphant things that we share with them. And of course, the day that they get discharged, we all get emotionally involved every time one gets discharged. You guys are gonna make me cry. Oh my God.
Tiny Hero made it possible for us to be here. I fully believe if we hadn't found Tiny Hero and Annie and Steve, there's no way we would have been able to come down here. If I hadn't found her, I don't know that Eleanor would even be here right now.